My friends, I have a question for you today, all right? And hopefully by the end of this video, we can get to the bottom of it and figure out what exactly is happening. So that question for you is, what is it about my videos that causes grown men to come into the comment section and weep and just let the tears pour from their face because they cannot believe what they heard in a YouTube video? What is going on with me? Because it must be a me problem, because this keeps happening. What am I doing that is causing them to throw epic tantrums like toddlers, looking at the time, shitting themselves and puking all over themselves and just being overall very, very upset about what happens in my videos? Because you guys, have I ever told you guys what I like about you? I don't know if I have. Sometimes I like to talk about what I like about me. I'm a big fan of me. I'm just kidding. I'm just playing. But what I like about you guys, my normal viewers, is that you fucking get it, right? You know, I'm just some loudmouth trucker on the internet talking shit. You're so aware of it. But I'm starting to think that I'm not very good at this comedy thing because other people just don't fucking get it. Let me give you an example. Actually, I did give you an example last night. Did y'all see that community post I put up? It was a comment on the CR England video that you guys, my lovely viewers that get me. You just get me. You understand that whole video was completely made up. I never went to CR England. I never got fired from CR England. I was just clowning on the idea of when, you know, our friendly super truckers go to an orientation, how they act in orientations. I was just making fun of it. And you know why I picked CR England? I thought the name would get some views. If I'm being honest with you, that's why I picked CR England. What else would I pick? I mean, I thought about doing Knight or Schneider, but not Swift. I wasn't going to do Swift. Anyways, that man had an epic tantrum in the comments about how he's been driving for 37 years, and if I was in that same orientation with him, he would have walked over there and slapped me out of my chair. I mean, he said chain, but I'm sure we can reasonably say that he probably meant chair. He's gonna knock me out of my chair. And isn't that silly? So before I get too far into this, I know what some of you are already thinking, and let me clear this up, right? A lot of you guys go, Josh, fuck the haters, and I agree, fuck them. But you know what I like sometimes? Making fun of their silly asses. It provides me entertainment, and I hope in turn provides you entertainment. So, anyways, yeah, this guy with 37 years he probably quit his fucking job already and is on his way to CR England orientation, just hoping he catches me there, because that's how seriously he took that video. And that's fucking hilarious to me. I find that funny. I gotta be honest with you guys. Here I go again. I've been on the road for 10 years. I have been on YouTube over various channels even longer. It is highly doubtful that anybody's gonna slap the shit out of me at orientation or on Fuel Island or anything like that. Do you know why? Because we got shit to do. Nobody's out here trying to catch charges and get in fights, because who's going to get the load done? How are they going to make it to their next paycheck? We all got shit to do. And everybody's a tough guy on the internet, right? It is highly doubtful I'm going to get the shit slapped out of me anywhere that I go around the country. As a matter of fact, I have been approached a number of times since I've been doing YouTube and trucking in truck stop parking lots by people that just wanted to say hello. Hundreds of times by now. As a matter of fact, I think I might owe some apologies. I'm a fucking weirdo. I'll get to the point. Don't worry, I'll get there. But I sometimes don't pick up on normal social cues in real life. And Holland Donkey, one of the viewers here, one of the, you know, big supporters of the channel, he's driving right by me, waving at me. And I'm like acting all suspicious, like, what the fuck does this guy want? I was on the phone with my wife and I'm like, I don't know what's wrong with this trucker next to me. I have no idea. And then when he like pulled out, you know, drove ahead of me, what am I trying to say? I told my wife, oh, that dude might have recognized me, right? And I have been waved out at twice since then in the truck stop parking lot while I was driving through, and I don't think I responded because one guy honked and it confused me. I was like, oh shit, what's going on around me? What do I need to be aware of? And he was I think he was just saying hello, and I'm looking around like a fucking goofball trying to figure out what's going on around me. And then another guy waved, and I think I might have waved, but too late. So hello everyone. I don't mean to be a dick. I just kind of get lost in my own world out here. So anyways, what we're here to talk about today, guys, is a Western Express driver that was crying like a Prime Inc. driver. Because you know how Prime Inc. is always crying, right? When you think of crybaby truckers on the internet, who do you think of? Prime Inc. And they earned that reputation. They earned it. I'm sorry, Prime Inc. drivers, but every time somebody says a funny thing about your company, here you come, you know, crying all over the place about, how dare you talk about my company? I built a really good life here. Yeah, and it was just a fucking joke. It's not an attack on your life. That's fucking weird. That's one of the worst things in the world to me right now, is we are completely destroying comedy because everybody acts like that joke was specifically written and directed at them to fuck with them, and that's fucking weird. I don't know why so many people are doing that. But yes, when we think of crybabies, we think of Prime Inc. I think they've kind of stopped doing that, and it might be all my fault, which sucks because it was useful hours of entertainment for all of us that I could make videos about another Prime Inc. driver crying, but they've stopped coming to the channel to fucking cry. Damn it, Prime Inc. drivers, where are you? I needed you, man. You're good content. You're good content. But guys, when we think of Western Express, what do we think of? I'll give you a second. Just process that. Okay, convicted felons, that's what we think of. And there's a reason I say that and why I'm laughing as hard as I am. As you guys know, a few months ago, maybe, I made a couple videos on Western Express, and they probably had some funny moments in there, but they were more for the new guys coming into the industry, and maybe just a sort of word of caution, maybe like, hey, maybe look at other companies instead, like Prime Inc. I would go to Prime Inc. long before I went to Western Express. Absolutely. Because I have decided on this channel that I have been around trucking long enough, it wouldn't fucking kill me to discuss my veteran trucker opinions on my channel for the young bucks coming in that maybe want a little bit of guidance. And that's why I made those videos. But I had referred to Western Express as a second chance company. All right, here's what I meant. Here's what I meant, and here's what somebody else heard, which is something I'm not a fucking fan of. I hate saying something and then somebody else hears something else, and then they want me to argue with the thing they just fucking made up. I hate that. I hate it. But anyways, what I meant by that was, let's say you don't have the greatest truck driving record, right? Like maybe you've been in an accident, maybe you've got a few tickets, maybe you're out there failing inspections, whatever can happen that is screwing up your driving record. You might look into Western Express because they will look at that, and they would be a company more likely to give you a job than maybe some other companies out there. And I had said it's kind of nice that that does exist, because maybe we fuck up when we're in our early 20s. We get a CDL and we do some stupid shit. Sorry, I said that wrong. We get a CDLs and then we do some stupid shit, we fuck up, and we end up getting bounced out of the industry for a while. And then maybe by the age of 30, we've matured a little bit and we've got bills to pay and we've got shit to do. It's not the worst thing in the world that there are second chance companies out there, that maybe people will take advantage of that and use that to get back on track in the trucking industry. What the person heard me say was that it was a second chance company for convicted felons, which actually is funny because yes, it can be, but that's not what I was saying. But he was super pissed about the idea that I had the audacity to say that this trucking company is out there specifically for convicted felons to get a second chance. Now, to clear that up too, not that it fucking matters because somebody's gonna hear something completely different, to clear that up too, I still don't think that's the worst thing ever. Maybe you did some stupid shit when you were young, right? You're same thing as the driving record. You're just trying to get your life back on track. This trucking company looks and goes, oh, you got a couple felonies or whatever's going on here. And they say, yeah, we can give you a shot. Now, I think that could be used as a good thing. Maybe you take that shot and you run with it, right? They give you that opportunity. I don't think that, even if that's what I was saying, that them being a second chance company for felons is the worst thing that fucking happened. I mean, good for them if it works out, right? That's fine. That's fine. I don't know what felonies they take. I have no fucking clue. Anyways, so here's where it starts to get weird, my friends. Here's where it starts to get weird. He starts questioning me about if how did he say it? He said, have you ever heard of people using the internet to speak in code words so that only certain people understand what they're saying? And I'm like, yeah, I think the term you're looking for is what they call dog whistle, right? So, look, I'm not making this political. I'm just using this as an example, okay? Can we all deal with that? A lot of news outlets will accuse Donald Trump of dog whistling, which means he's saying something that is only going to get the attention of certain people. Now, I don't want to go down the road of if that's true or not. I don't even want the fucking argument, if I'm being honest with you. I'm just saying that that is a thing that happens. And a lot of times they're saying it as a thing, meaning he's speaking to like the racist specifically, right? And it's a thing. It's a thing that gets said. That's all I'm saying. So yes, I told him, I said, I'm familiar with what you're talking about. I've actually heard about that. And I believe that you can use your words in a way that only certain people would catch on to what you're saying. I totally believe that. And he goes, were you aware that you were doing it? To which I said, nope, I sure wasn't. And it's funny because actually over the course of my YouTube career, I have been accused of speaking in code probably thousands of times. It's fucking bizarre because I don't. I just say words. I've never spoken code in my fucking life. I wouldn't know how. I'm too dumb. I'm too dumb to figure out how to speak in code. So, yes, we had agreed on that, and then he questioned me about if I realized that I was doing that. And I thought it was funny. I thought he was like trolling me. And I said, can you clarify? What do you mean that I am speaking in code? And he says, well, when you're talking about a second chance company, you know you're talking about felons, right? To which I said, that's not actually what I meant. I was talking about bad driving records. And he goes, no, I know that that's what you want people to hear, okay? And that's what you want them to understand from what you're saying. He says, but for people that can pick up on what you're saying that it's for felons to go work at. And I said, that's such a weird conclusion to come to. You decided that I was specifically talking about felons, but I didn't pay much attention to it because I said, that's fair. That's actually a fair assessment. Yes, you could get, I believe you can have some kind of felonies and work for Western Express as well as maybe a handful of other companies. So that's a fair assessment. And he goes, okay, so you are saying it's a company for felons. And I said, it could be. Yeah, I guess it could be. That's fine. And he says, you realize that you're a racist, don't you? And I said, I realize I'm racist? I said, look, man, I understand how you might come to that conclusion if I'm being completely honest with you. I am born of the fucking rednecks. I look like a fucking redneck. It wouldn't surprise me if somebody just looked at me walking down the street and they said, that guy's probably a racist because I look like a fucking hillbilly, all right? I can't help that. And I said, I am not racist. I don't know why you would just say that. And he says, you're racist because you just said that's a place for felons to work at, which means you think it's a trucking company for black people because black people commit felonies. Now, keep in mind, this guy was a black person. I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret right now. That guy that just told me he thinks I'm racist because he thinks that only black people commit felonies, I think he's a fucking racist. I mean, my God, he just told me that black people are more likely to commit felonies, and he said it, his words, and he says because that's the conclusion he came to from his, I don't know, his worldview, that makes me a racist. That guy just said some racist shit. And you can be racist against your own race, absolutely you can. So it is of his view that black people commit felonies. And because he views the world that way, he believes that I am a racist. I'm dying here. Are you fucking kidding me? You've got to be fucking kidding me. That's the craziest shit I've ever heard. So anyways, I stopped talking to him. Well, kinda. There's a little bit more to the story, and I'll get to that in a minute. But I was just like, I can't take this guy fucking seriously anymore. This is fucking silly. All right? And I told him as much. I said, look, what you just said was absolutely absurd. You're the one that believes this, so that is your cross to bear. You carry that cross with you. I didn't fucking say it. But right now, you're just being fucking silly. And he goes, okay, well, we'll see, man. We'll see. Because I have been a trucker for a little while, too. And what I know about this industry is it's all about survival of the fittest. And you aren't going to survive in this industry, is what he just told me. Guys, help me. Help me. Do you know how often I get told this? That this guy Trucks, the legendary Josh himself, will not survive the trucking industry. And I wanted to argue, my friends, I did, but I realized I was arguing with a fucking moron, and I gotta stop doing that. I committed to like, hey, if somebody wants to start an argument with me, I might even entertain that in the comments, because maybe I get to make a video out of it. But the minute that I realize that they're fucking idiots, I need to stop, and sometimes I don't, and that's really my fucking fault. That's my fault. But I get told this very frequently, that I am never going to survive in the trucking industry. That's right, the 10-year veteran of trucking, this guy Trucks, the million-mile driver, this guy Trucks, the guy right now that's working his ass off so he can buy a truck again, not for the first time. This guy Trucks will never survive this trucking industry. And that is why, you remember that video I did about a month ago maybe, where I was stuck in the snowstorm in Wyoming, and I started the video by, okay, we're talking about survival of the fittest, are we? And I jumped out of the truck with tires all chained up already, ready to go. And the reason I did that is because most motherfuckers don't even know how to chain, and I think that's okay. I'm not talking shit on you if you can't or if you don't want to. That's your choice to make. It's your truck to drive. I don't give a fuck. Sometimes I shut down when chain laws go up. Sometimes I got shit to do, and I make that decision based on what's going on, right? But I thought it was funny that I was being lectured about how I'll never survive the trucking industry, and I'm out there throwing chains in fucking Wyoming so I can get shit done. That's survival, bitch, in case you're not sure what the fuck that is. That is survival. Boy, I guess I got a lot on my mind, don't I? Let me get a hit off this vape real quick, and we'll continue on. Because there is more I want to talk about. Of course there is. There always is. There's always just a little bit more that I want to talk about, isn't there? We have got to talk about, how do I explain this? A thing that frequently gets me in trouble here on YouTube with the haters is that I make fun of trucking companies, right? And let me tell you this way. If you guys haven't picked up on this, I am a huge fan of stand-up comedy. I haven't listened to a lot of new stuff for quite a while, but my favorite comedian in the world is Doug Stanhope. Guys that have been around here for a while know that. I've mentioned him on a number of occasions, and I would not be embarrassed if some of my inspiration for how I do these videos came from Doug Stanhope and George Carlin and you know, some of the greats, maybe even a little bit of Ralphie May, right? I got to see George Carlin do a show live once. Not George Carlin, Doug Stanhope. And I was so excited. I was finally going to see this guy that I've watched so many videos on the internet. And I was finally going to go fucking see him. And I was watching his show. And guys, comedy shows in person are way different than watching them at home, because I get a little bit, fuck, this is going to get me fucked. I go a little bit autistic on comedy shows when I watch at home, and in the sense that I just focus on their delivery and how they're setting up the jokes, and I don't laugh. I don't laugh through the whole thing because I'm studying. I'm learning this art of stand-up comedy. I'm such a huge fan of it because it takes balls. It takes incredible intelligence to be a good stand-up comic, and I am just fascinated with that art form, right? But I got to go see Doug Stanhope in person, and I was very excited, and The only time I really get excited is when I'm yelling at you guys in this fucking camera. For the most part, in my real life, I'm pretty even, right? I'm just kind of like, I'm just there. So I'm pretty excited for it. And he's doing this show. Man, there were like 2 openers before him, and it was fucking brutal waiting for him to get on stage and do his bit, right? And when he gets up there, or his set rather, he gets up there and he's doing his set, and I was laughing so goddamn hard I was crying, guys. I don't laugh like that. I was fucking just tears running down my face. This man was absolutely brilliant, just fucking crushing it. And I was like, this is the greatest thing ever, and I will go to every one of his shows until I die. Then I had shit to do, and I can't do that, right? But he got towards the end of his set, and I learned a very important lesson that day about life, if I'm being fucking honest with you. That might sound a little bit shocking, but I learned a very big thing about life that day. He started doing a bit about how he hates truck drivers, right? I was a truck driver. I found myself getting very upset that this man that I look up to is on stage right now doing a fucking joke about me. And he's just trashing truck drivers, just fucking talking shit about how we're blocking up both lanes and we're stinky, smelly, fucking filthy pigs and all this shit, right? And I was upset. I was very upset. And my wife looked over at me and she could tell. And she like, you know, she's like rubbing my arm and she's like, it's fine, it's fine. It took me about 2 days to comprehend what happened, because I was convinced at that point I'm never going to listen to another thing this motherfucker says. I will not support this man in any way. He's going to make fun of my profession. What a fucking cocksucker that guy is, right? Took about 2 days, and I finally figured it out. You know what I figured out? That joke wasn't about me. He didn't know I was there. And even if he did know I was there, he wouldn't have known that I was a truck driver. And even if he knew all these things, he would have still done the fucking joke. You know why? Because you gotta have balls to do what they do. That's why. So you still do the joke, even if you don't want to, right? Even if there's something that maybe prevents you from doing it, you still have to do the joke. And when I realized, when it finally all came together in my head, and I realized that the joke wasn't about me, I realized that he wasn't so bad. He wasn't a bad guy. He wasn't my enemy, and I still very much enjoyed his fucking content. So the reason I bring all that up is because I believe I said earlier, I get bitched at a lot because I make fun of the trucking company that people drive for. Let me tell you guys something that apparently you're not aware of. Since the dawn of time, since the very beginning of trucking companies, truckers have made fun of other truckers and their trucking company that they work at, and they meant nothing by it. It didn't matter. You pull up, you go into the truck stop bar, you go in, you have a drink, you strike up a conversation with the motherfucker, you guys are talking shit back and forth, telling your most epic backing stories. When he goes, well, which outfit you run for? And then you tell him, and then he just starts busting your balls mercilessly about the company you drive for. And it doesn't matter that maybe you drive for a good company, like a company with a good fucking reputation. It still doesn't matter, because he's still gonna bust your balls. And maybe you're the best goddamn trucker out there, but it still doesn't matter. He's still going to bust your balls about it. You know why? You know why, you sissies that are mad about your trucking company getting made fun of? It's banter. It's just bullshit. And here's the thing I've always said. You can make fun of a lot of shit about me. As a matter of fact, I'm probably a pretty fucking easy target. There are lines that I draw. There are. There are things that like just piss me off, and I'm like, leave me the fuck alone. And that is when you go after my family, right? Because I made some jokes on the internet. Do not mention my wife. Don't do it, because you'll get bounced straight the fuck out of this channel. Unless you're saying something nice about her, then you're allowed to do that, right? And obviously my kids, things like that. I will draw the fucking line right there. And another thing, when people come into my comments and like accuse me of being a drug addict. This guy's on meth. Out. You're gone. Get the fuck out of here. You know why? Because I am deathly afraid of doing drugs. I'm just naturally like this. I got a lot on my mind, and this is how the fuck it comes out. I'm deathly afraid of doing drugs, and I'm a truck driver. I have a career to protect. Don't accuse me of being a fucking drug addict, right? Other than that, make fun of anything. Make fun of anything you want. Make fun of the company I drive for. I don't give a fuck. It does nothing to me. I still drive the truck. And if it turns out that my company does suck, I'll just quit. I'll go work somewhere else. Who gives a shit? You can make fun of the company I drive for. Make fun of the state I live in. I don't know why you would, because Colorado's pretty cool. I don't know why you would, but if you want to, go for it. I'm short. I can't grow a beard right. There's all this ammo. All these ways you could just fucking make fun of me. And instead of doing that, people get very offended. But the point I was trying to make was that we've got to lighten the fuck up, truck drivers. We've got to lighten up. It's really not that big of a deal. Who cares that your company got made fun of? Literally no one gives a fuck. And a lot of times these companies deserve the reputations that they have. You're the goofy ass that decided to go work there. You thought no one was going to make a fucking joke? This has been going on since the dawn of time in trucking. I hate the fucking acronyms. I think they're fucking horrible. You guys know about the acronyms, right? SWIFT. Sure wish I finished training. Yeah, I've heard that a million fucking times. And to be clear, there's one I really liked. I thought it was really funny for SWIFT. And if you guys start repeating it, you're going to kill the joke. But somebody called it the Stevie Wonder Institute for Trucking, and that's fucking hilarious. That's great. But other than that, I can't stand the fucking acronyms. When people post them in my comments, I roll my eyes. My eyes roll so fucking hard, they almost fall out of my head when somebody goes, CRST, crash and roll stunt team. Fuck my life. Stop it. But it's just bad comedy, in my opinion. But the point is, that shit has gone on forever. And it's just banter, and we're not going to sing fucking Kumbaya. We're still going to make fun of you, and you're still going to make fun of me. And life goes on. All right? God damn, you guys are acting like Texans defending their fucking power grid. Who gives a shit that Western Express fucking hires felons? Is that really the end of the world? Are you that upset about it? That's all I got on my mind, I guess, guys. I'm going to head out and get this video edited. So talk to you soon.